If we can get them quieted down.
Hello, everyone. Woo! I have 3 boys, so let me tell you, if I need to get your attention, I certainly know how, but you don't want to hear how I get their attention. So calm down, because this message is really important. Not only what I have to say, but what Tracy has to say, because it's why you all came here tonight. It's the work that the National Parks Fund does every single day, and our National Park stewards who have been here working tirelessly for you and for our next generation. For those who don't know me, I'm Hilary Franz. I am your Washington State Commissioner of Public Lands. I have to say, I like coming in front of all 500 of you because most people don't know who I am and they don't know what I do and they don't even know why we have a Commissioner of Public Lands. But let me just say to you, as the Commissioner of Public Lands, I protect and manage over 6 million acres of public lands, from your coastal waters to your aquatic reserves, to your working forest and farmlands, to your wind farms and your wineries, to your national and recreational areas. Actually, we manage the 2nd largest amount of recreational areas in Washington State, only 2nd to your national government. I'm honored to be here today celebrating Washington's National Park, and I have to say I am lucky to be up here because I met your amazing champion, Jim Wagenfeld, over here. I would like to say I met him like all of you might have on a hike or on the mountainside, but I can't say I did. Instead, it was actually a week of challenge, a week of hearing about Trump administration's order of a review of 27 of our most beautiful national monuments and the raising of our national park fees, that I met Jim Wagenfeld. And actually, I was doing what any black belt kickboxer would be doing on that week, and I would be kicking the hell out of a bag. And I almost kicked him. But I was fortunate I didn't, and we've been friends ever since, and we're working now tirelessly together to continue the great work of National Parks Fund. Let me say we are in very interesting times. The role and future of public lands is being debated daily in Congress, in the White House, even in your state legislature, including proposals to take over federal lands and diminish our national monuments, or to defund or significantly reduce funding for national and state parks. But this debate over public lands, over the value of our state and federal parks, and the importance of our natural resources is not new. And so I'd like to take you back, actually before I was born, to after World War II, where national parks fell into significant disrepair because of too little investment. That was until an article ran in Harper's Magazine in 1953 entitled, "Let's Close the National Parks," calling for the closure of Yellowstone, Yosemite, and the Grand Canyon in order to push, and this is why it was effective, to push Congress to truly fund and properly fund these national natural wonders. That essay spurred a historic investment in our national parks, where over the course of 10 years, more than $1 billion of capital improvements were completed in our most beautiful national parks. We're about to celebrate a 50th anniversary coming up this year, and I'll tell you that moment of that investment was just in time for National Park Service 50th anniversary in 1966. It's Mission 66, as it was called. How many of you remember that? How many were you here? Go ahead, come on, gray hairs, some of you, come on. All right, there's a few of you out there. Well, Mission 66, as it was called, was based on the fundamental belief that investing in our national parks was an investment in not just our environment and our economy, but truly as our identity as a country. That's what Mission 66 was about investing in our identity as a country. The real legacy of Mission 66 is in front of all of us. Just look around this room. It is the baby boomers who were crushed. You all remember baby boomers, faces smushed in the back of that station wagon. There was no seat belts, none, right? There were 6 to 8 of you in the back of that station wagon alone, and the parents tried to get you as far back as they could, and there was no seat belts. None, okay? And you spent weekends, vacations, visiting and loving and supporting the great outdoors. It is these baby boomers who continue to visit our parks in record numbers. It is these baby boomers who continue to raise the call for expanding and investing in our public lands. And no offense to the baby boomers in the audience, but here's what my 3 preteen boys would say to you and to me, and they do it daily as a political official. Your Instagram account, you need to expand your followers. Your numbers are way too low. Do you know there's YouTube followers out there? They got 1 million easily in a week. And look where you all stand. Well, that's what I face every single day talking to my boys. And that's the challenge in front of us. Why? Because the decision makers over the next 10, 20, 50 years will not be those baby boomers crushed in the back. Baby bummers, or I know there are a few of you there too, sorry. My comms director, slip of hand there, but those baby boomers or bummers, they were in the Volkswagen vans. I know that. My dad told me all about that era. Okay, well, those who were crushed in either the station wagon or the Volkswagen van, that's the challenge in front of us. We have to both deepen the connection with my generation, who are more and more making the decisions about funding our parks, holding on to and expanding our public lands, and valuing our natural resources. And we have to develop the next generation of leaders and visionaries. So I knew this as a young mother, 17, now 18 years ago, that the future laid in our children. So I did what few are actually able to do. I bought a farm and I began raising my 3 boys on it. My thinking was put them on the land, envelop them with the forests, the farmlands, the waters that we are blessed with here in Washington State. Thank you. Make them wake up at 6 a.m. every single morning to milk the goats. Yep, gather the eggs and butcher the pigs and 100 chickens. What boys don't love eggs and bacon, I thought. Well, I figured I was creating the next generation of hunters, gatherers, farmers, foresters, and public lands advocates. Now roll forward to my new world of 3 teen boys, 13, 15, and 18, and I'll be honest, I have lost my boys to technology. iPhones, iWatches, Instagram, Snapchats, Facebook is old, they tell me. And these are kids who were raised without a TV. They were raised without a phone. They were raised without computers. So what makes all this even more challenging is the most pressing issue of our time, which is climate change. Climate change threatens our land, our water, with increasing wildfires, record-breaking droughts, dying forests, increasing wildfires, more challenging growing seasons, and more frequent and severe storms. Which is why this moment matters, which is why the work that you all do and the work that our national park stewards do and the work that our national park fund do matters. This is our moment to press forward, to develop the future stewards and the champions of our lands and waters. We need to make our natural resource lands, our public lands, truly relevant again. Working with each and every one of you and critical partners like Washington's National Park Fund, we need to inspire people of all ages, all races, all income brackets, to get outdoors and fall in love with nature again. So that means getting creative in how we get people to interact with nature. It means actually making nature hip, and if I dare say, sexy. I know, think back to the Volkswagens, right? Right? Okay. Baby bummers and baby bombers and baby boomers, pay attention because we got to reach the next crowd, which is not easy. So if Pokemon gets our kids finally outside of the house, then let's do Pokemon in the park. If Tinder is how young people meet, how about Tinder and Timber, where forest lovers meet and match? And if Sex in the City got more people loving our cities and our urban areas, well, by hell, maybe we need sex in our national parks. I'm telling you, you gotta go big or go home. And so with that, we need to think, dream, and act big. Very big. And so each one of us was put on this planet to accomplish great things. Raising the next generation of leaders and naturalists. Creating and protecting our local, our state, our national parks, emboldening a new generation of volunteers to build the trails, forge outdoor recreation frontiers. We need to reach that next generation, and the work that is in front of us to do that is harder than I could ever imagine. That is why we must support National Parks Fund Washington. Clap. They help bring people outdoors, and they help bring people together. And in speaking with them before this evening, they recognize how critical it is that we aren't just talking to my generation and the generation before me, but that our most challenging job is reaching the next generation, not only protecting the places we have right in front of us today, but making sure they care about it, love it, worship it, and want to keep it. Ensuring that these national treasures remain vibrant, cared for, and accessible to every single person in our state. Our national parks provide an opportunity for the next generations to fall in love with the outdoors just like we did. And each of us has a responsibility to inspire that next generation to be stewards to the outdoors, to keep our public lands public, to recreate in nature. I didn't say recreate in nature. Let's just make clear. I meant recreate in nature. Okay, we got it. To rely on science and collaboration to chart a sustainable future, to invest in our natural resources to feed our bodies, expand our minds, and inspire our souls, and to ensure access for all to these most treasured places. For this dream and this responsibility, I am grateful for our public servants, our public land advocates, our partners like Washington's National Park Fund, and each and every one of you. As we step into this new future, we will make it brighter. We must bring the next generation with us. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you.